Captain Daeho sat in his command chair watching the stars through the main screen. His ship, the Silent Dawn, moved slowly through empty space. It looked like any other cargo ship. Old metal plates covered the hull. Rust marks showed on the sides. Paint was peeling off in many places. Anyone who saw it would think it was just another old freighter carrying goods from one planet to another. But Daeho knew better. He had been flying ships for 20 years. He had fought in wars that most people had forgotten. His hands were steady on the controls, and his eyes were always watching for trouble. "Captain," said Boram from her station. She was the tactical officer. Her job was to watch for enemy ships and weapons. "I'm getting some strange readings on the long-range sensors." Daeho turned to look at her. Boram was young, maybe 25 years old. She had joined his crew 6 months ago. She was smart and quick to learn. Her fingers moved fast over the control panels. "What kind of readings?" Daeho asked. "Something big," Boram said. "Maybe 12 ships. They're trying to hide, but I can still see them." At the engineering station, Kyung-ho looked up from his work. He was older than Boram, maybe 30. He had been with Daeho for 3 years. He knew every part of the Silent Dawn better than anyone else. 12 ships? Kyung-ho said. "That's a lot for this sector. Most traders come alone or in pairs." Hae-won, the communications officer, checked her screens. She was the youngest of the crew, only 22. She had learned to speak many alien languages. Her job was to talk to other ships and space stations. Not getting any radio signals from them," Hae-won said. "They're keeping quiet." Daeho thought about this. Ships that stayed hidden and didn't talk were usually up to no good. In this part of space, that meant pirates or worse. "Can you tell what kind of ships they are?" he asked Boram. Boram worked at her controls for a few minutes. "The computer says they might be Vorthan ships, but I can't be sure from this distance." Daeho felt his heart beat faster. The Vorthans were bad news. They were aliens who liked to fight. They had been taking over planets and killing anyone who got in their way. They were especially mean to humans. "How far away are they?" Daeho asked. "About 20 minutes at our current speed," Boram said. Daeho made his choice quickly. "Kyung-ho, can you make the engines run quieter? I want to sneak past them if we can." "Already working on it, Captain," Kyung-ho said. His hands moved over the engineering controls. "I can reduce our engine signature by 60%, but we'll have to go slower." "Do it," Daeho said. For the next 10 minutes, they tried to sneak past the hidden ships. The Silent Dawn moved like a ghost through space. Its engines made almost no sound. Its lights were turned down low, but it didn't work. "Captain," Boram said suddenly. "They're moving. All 12 ships are coming toward us." On the main screen, Daeho could see dots of light getting bigger. The enemy ships were no longer hiding, they were coming fast. "How long until they reach us?" Daeho asked. 5 minutes, Boram said. Daeho looked at his crew. They all looked scared, but they were ready to do their jobs. He was proud of them. "Hae-won, try to contact them," Daeho said. "Maybe we can talk our way out of this." "Yes, Captain," Hae-won said. She worked at her station for a moment. "I'm getting a response. They want to talk." "Put them on screen," Daeho said. The main screen changed. Now it showed the inside of an alien ship. A Vorthan commander sat in a large chair. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and big black eyes. His teeth were sharp like a shark's. "Human ship," the Vorthan said. His voice was cold and mean. "I am War Commander Thys of the Vorthan Empire. You are in our space now. You will surrender your ship to us." Daeho stood up from his chair. He tried to look scared and confused. "Commander, we're just a cargo ship. We're carrying food and medicine to the colony on Kepler 7. We don't want any trouble." Thys laughed. It was not a nice sound. "All human ships belong to us now. Your species is weak. You cannot fight us. Surrender now, and we might let some of you live." "What do you want from us?" Daeho asked. He made his voice shake a little. "Information," Thys said. "We want to know about your homeworld. We want to know about your defenses. We want to know how many ships you have. Daeho pretended to think about it. I'm just a cargo captain. I don't know about military things. You will tell us what you... No, Thais said. Or you will die slowly. On the screen behind this, Daeho could see other Vorthans working at control panels. Their ship looked new and powerful. Its weapons were big and scary looking. Captain, Boram whispered. I count 12 Vorthan warships. Each one is 3 times bigger than us. They have enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Daeho nodded. To Thais he said, Give me a few minutes to think about this. My crew is scared. I need to talk to them. Thys smiled with his sharp teeth. You have 2 minutes, human. Then you surrender, or we blow your ship apart. The screen went dark. Daeho sat back down in his chair. His crew looked at him with worried faces. What do we do, Captain? HFY asked. Daeho looked at each of his crew members. Trust me, he said quietly. Just do exactly what I tell you. Kyung-ho, are all our systems ready? Which systems, Captain? Kyung-ho asked. All of them, Daeho said with a small smile. Kyung-ho's eyes went wide. Then he smiled too. Yes, Captain. All systems are ready and waiting. Boram looked confused. Captain, what systems? This is just a cargo ship. Daeho looked at her. Boram, you've been with us for 6 months. You're a good officer. But there are some things about this ship that you don't know yet. What kind of things? Boram asked. Before Daeho could answer, HFY said, Captain, they're calling us. Again. Put them on screen, Daeho said. This appeared again. He looked angry now. Time is up, human. What is your decision? Daeho stood up slowly. He looked down at his feet. Then he looked up at Thys. We surrender, he said. Please don't hurt my crew. Thys laughed again. Smart choice. Prepare to be boarded. Any tricks, and we will kill you all. The screen went dark again. Around the silent dawn, 12 Vorthan warships moved into position. They formed a circle around the human ship. Their weapons were pointed at the cargo freighter. Captain, Boram said, they're getting ready to send boarding ships over to us. Perfect, Daeho said quietly. Perfect? Boram asked. Captain, they're going to capture us. Daeho sat back in his chair. He looked calm and relaxed. Boram, in all your time in the military academy, did they ever teach you about something called a wolf in sheep's clothing? Yes, Boram said. It means something dangerous that looks harmless. Daeho smiled. That's right. And what do you think happens when a pack of dogs tries to attack a wolf? Boram thought about it. Slowly, she began to smile too. The dogs get a big surprise. Exactly, Daeho said. Kyung-ho, HFY, are you ready? Ready, Captain, they both said. Outside, the Vorthan ships moved closer. They thought they had caught an easy prize. They thought the humans would be helpless. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Vorthan boarding ships looked like metal spiders as they moved toward the silent dawn. Each one carried 20 soldiers with heavy weapons. War Commander Thys watched from his command ship as his forces prepared to take the human vessel. This is too easy, said his second-in-command, a younger Vorthan named Krex. Humans usually fight more than this. Thys waved a clawed hand. These are just merchants, not warriors. They know they cannot win against us. They are smart enough to surrender. On the silent dawn, Daeho watched the enemy ships getting closer. HFY, he said quietly. Open a channel to the Vorthan commander again. Channel open, Captain, HFY said. Thys appeared on the main screen again. Behind him, other Vorthans were preparing weapons and checking their equipment. Commander, Daeho said, my crew is very scared. Some of them want to fight you. I'm trying to keep them calm, but it's hard. Tell them that fighting is useless, Thys said. We have 12 warships. You have 1 old cargo ship. Fighting would only make their deaths more painful. Daeho nodded. I understand, but they're young and stupid. They think they can hurt you somehow. He paused and looked around at his crew. Can you give me a little more time? I need to make sure they won't do anything foolish. Thais thought about this. You have 5 more minutes, but if anyone on your ship even looks at a weapon, we will destroy you immediately. Thank you, Commander, Daeho said. You're very kind. The screen went dark. Thais turned to Krex. See how they beg? Humans are weak creatures, no wonder they lose every battle. Meanwhile, on the Silent Dawn, things were not what they seemed. Boram was still confused, but she was starting to understand that something important was happening. Captain, she whispered, what's really going on here? Daeho looked at her with serious eyes. Boram, you passed all your tests at the academy. You're smart and brave, but you don't know everything about this ship yet. What don't I know? She asked. Kyung-ho spoke up from his engineering station. Boram, look at these readings. He put some numbers on her screen. What do you think these are? Boram studied the data for a moment. Her eyes went wide. These power readings. They're impossible. No cargo ship could have this much energy. That's right, Kyung-ho said with a grin. Want to see something even more interesting? He pressed some buttons, and new information appeared on Boram's screen. These are weapon systems, Boram said in shock. But where are they? I don't see any guns on this ship. They're hidden, Haewon said. The whole ship is not what it looks like. Daeho stood up and walked over to Boram's station. 6 months ago, when you joined us, I told you we were a special cargo ship. I told you. We carried important supplies to dangerous places. That was true, but it wasn't the whole truth. What's the whole truth? Boram asked. The whole truth is that we're hunters, Daeho said. We hunt ships like these Vorthons. We make them think we're weak and helpless. Then when they get close, enough. We show them who we really are. Boram looked around the bridge. Everything looked normal. Old seats, scratched control panels, dim lights. But how? Kyung-ho laughed. Watch this. He pressed a button on his console. Suddenly, Boram's tactical station changed completely. New screens appeared. Advanced targeting systems came online. Weapon controls that she had never seen before lit up in front of her. This is incredible, Boram said. How long has this ship been like this? 3 years, Daeho said. Ever since the Vorthons started attacking human colonies. Earth Command decided we needed a new way to fight them. Regular warships couldn't get close enough. The Vorthons would see them coming and run away. But a harmless cargo ship? They want to capture those. Haewon was working at her station watching the Vorthon boarding ships get closer. Captain, they'll be here in 2 minutes. Should I send them our fake cargo list? Yes, Daeho said. Make sure they think we're carrying medicine and food supplies, nothing valuable or dangerous. Haewon's fingers danced over her controls. Sending now. I'm also transmitting fake crew records. According to this data, we're all civilian merchants with no military training. This received the information on his command ship. He studied the cargo list and crew files. Food, medicine, farming equipment, he read aloud. And the crew are all civilians. No soldiers, no weapons experts. Perfect, Krex said. This will be easy. But Thais frowned as he looked at something else. This captain, Daeho, his record says he's 45 years old and has been flying cargo ships for 20 years. But look at this photo. Krex looked at the image of Daeho on the screen. He looks hard, like a fighter. Yes, Thais said slowly. Most cargo ship captains look soft and weak. This one has scars on his face. His eyes are too alert. Something is not right. Should we be more careful? Krex asked. Thais thought about it, then shook his head. No, we have 12 warships and 200 soldiers. Even if this captain used to be in the military, what can one old cargo ship do against us? On the Silent Dawn, Daeho was having a different conversation with his crew. Boram, he said, I need you to understand something important. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to give you an order. When I do, I need you to follow it exactly, without asking questions. Can you do that? Boram looked at her new weapon controls. She was beginning to understand just how much firepower was hidden in this ship. Yes, Captain. I can do that. Good, Daeho said. Kyung-ho, are all systems ready for full activation? All. Systems green and ready, Captain, Kyung-ho said. The moment you give the word, this old cargo ship becomes something very different. Hey Wan, what about communications? I have control of all Vorthan communication channels, Heywan said. When the time comes, I can jam their signals or listen to everything they say to each other. Daeho nodded and sat back down in his captain's chair. Perfect. Now we wait. The Vorthon boarding ships were almost at the silent dawn now. Thysi could see the human cargo ship through his view screen. It looked old and helpless, just floating in space waiting to be captured. Boarding teams, prepare to dock, Thys ordered. Remember, we want prisoners alive for questioning. Kill only if they resist. Yes, War Commander, came the replies from the boarding ship captains. Thys smiled with his sharp teeth. Soon he would have human prisoners to torture for information. Soon he would know all about Earth's defenses. This had been a very good day for hunting. He had no idea that he was not the hunter in this situation. He was the prey. The first boarding ship reached the silent dawn and attached itself to the cargo ship's hull. Vorthon soldiers prepared to cut through the metal and storm inside. Boarding ship Alpha is attached, reported the team leader. Beginning hull breach now. Thys watched with satisfaction. In a few minutes, his soldiers would be inside the human ship. The crew would surrender or die. Either way, he would win. Captain, Boram said quietly on the silent dawn, the first boarding ship is cutting through our hull. They'll be inside in 60 seconds. Daeho smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a wolf that had been pretending to be a sheep. Perfect, he said. Let them think they're winning for just a little bit longer. The cutting tools finished their work. A hole appeared in the silent dawn's hull. Vorthan soldiers began to climb through, their weapons ready. This is it, Daeho said to his crew. Everyone ready? Ready, Captain, they all said. Daeho's hand moved to a special control on his chair. It was red and covered by a protective shield. He lifted the shield and placed his finger on the button. Time to show them who we really are, he said. Daeho pressed the red button. The silent dawn exploded into action, but not the way the Vorthons expected. Instead of being destroyed, the old cargo ship began to transform. The rusty outer hull plates fell away like old skin being shed. Underneath was gleaming black metal that seemed to drink in the starlight. The ship's real size became clear. It was twice as big as it had appeared. Hidden weapon ports opened along the sides. Advanced sensor arrays unfolded from the top and bottom. The shabby cargo ship was gone. In its place was a sleek, deadly warship. What is that? Krek shouted on the Vorthan command ship. This stared at his screen in shock. Where moments before there had been a helpless human freighter, now there was something that looked like death itself floating in space. Impossible, Thys whispered. How did they hide all of that? On the silent dawn, now revealed as the UES, Retribution. The bridge had transformed just as dramatically as the outside of the ship. The old, broken-looking control panels slid away to reveal state-of-the-art military equipment. Advanced holographic displays sprang to life. The dim lighting was replaced by the bright, clean glow of a modern warship bridge. Boram gasped as her tactical station completed its transformation. She now had access to weapon systems she had only dreamed about in the academy. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and something called adaptive shield matrices were all under her control. Captain, she said, her voice filled with amazement, these weapons, some of them are more advanced than anything I studied in school. That's because they're experimental, Daeho said. This ship is a test bed for new human military technology. And today, we get to see how well it works against real enemies. Kyung-ho was grinning as he worked at his engineering station. All primary systems online, Captain. Engines at full power. Shields at maximum strength. We are ready for anything. Heywan had been busy too. Captain, I've jammed all Vorthan communications. They can't call for help or coordinate their attack. Also, I've been listening to their internal chatter. They're very confused and very scared. Daeho stood up from his captain's chair. Through the main view screen, He could see the 12 Vorthon warships scrambling to respond to this sudden change in the situation. Some were trying to move away. Others were bringing their weapons to bear on the Retribution. "What about the boarding party that's already inside our ship?" Boram asked. "Don't worry about them," Deho said. "The internal security systems will handle it." Even as he spoke, alarms were ringing throughout the sections of the ship where the Vorthons had boarded. Automated defenses came online. Blast doors sealed off corridors, trapping the alien soldiers. Sleep gas began filling the air in those sections. The Vorthon boarding team leader spoke into his radio. "Command, something is very wrong here. The ship's interior is completely different from what we expected. There are military-grade security systems everywhere. We're trapped." But his message never reached Thys. Haywan had made sure of that. On the Vorthon command ship, Thys was trying to understand what had happened. "How did they fool our sensors?" he demanded of his crew. "The outer hull was a fake," his science officer reported. "It was designed to look like old cargo ship metal, but it was actually a sophisticated disguise. Underneath is military-grade armor plating." "And their weapons?" Thys asked. "Unknown design," the science officer said, fear creeping into his voice. "Our computers don't recognize the technology. It appears to be more advanced than anything in our databases." Thys felt a cold fear growing in his stomach. The Vorthon Empire had conquered dozens of worlds. They had faced many different species and their technologies, but they had never seen anything like this. "All ships," Thys ordered over the fleet communication system, "attack the human vessel immediately. Destroy it before it can use those weapons." But when he tried to send the message, nothing happened. His communications were being jammed. On the Retribution, Deho was calmly giving orders to his crew. "Boram, target the nearest Vorthon ship. Let's show them what human engineering can do." "Target locked, Captain," Boram said. Her hands moved smoothly over her new controls. "Plasma cannons ready to fire." "Fire," Deho said simply. A beam of brilliant blue energy lanced out from the Retribution. It struck the nearest Vorthon warship in the center of its hull. The alien vessel's shields flared brightly for a moment, then failed completely. The plasma beam cut through the ship's armor like it was made of paper. The Vorthon ship exploded in a ball of fire and debris. On Thys's command ship, everyone stared in horror at what they had just witnessed. "One shot," Krex whispered. "They destroyed the Hammer of Wrath with one shot." The Hammer of Wrath had been one of their newest and strongest ships. Its shields and armor were supposed to be able to withstand anything, but the human weapon had gone through them like they weren't even there. "All ships attack," Thys screamed. "Attack now." The remaining 11 Vorthon ships opened fire with everything they had. Energy beams, missiles, and plasma bolts filled the space around the Retribution. It looked like enough firepower to destroy a small moon. But when the light and smoke cleared, the human ship was still there. Its shields had absorbed or deflected every attack. "Impossible," Thys said. "Nothing can survive that much firepower." On the Retribution, Kyung-ho was reading his engineering displays with satisfaction. "Shields holding at 95%. Captain, their weapons barely scratched us." "How is that possible?" Boram asked. "Adaptive shield technology," Kyung-ho explained. "The shields analyze incoming weapons and change their frequency to provide maximum protection. The more they shoot at us, the better our defenses become against their specific weapons." Deho nodded. "It's based on something we learned from studying captured Vorthon technology. We took their ideas and made them better." Haywan looked up from her station. "Captain, I'm picking up their internal communications now. They're starting to panic. Several ship captains are requesting permission to retreat." "And what is War Commander Thys telling them?" Deho asked. "He's ordering them to continue the attack," Haywan said. "But I can hear the fear in his voice." Deho walked over to the main view screen and looked out at the Vorthon fleet. These aliens had spent years attacking human colonies. They had killed thousands of innocent people. They thought humans were weak and easy to defeat. Today, they would learn the truth. "Boram," Deho said. Target their command ship, but don't destroy it yet. I want to send War Commander Thys a message first. Target locked, Captain, Boram said. Hey Juan, open a channel to Thys. Override his jamming if you have to. Channel open, Captain, Hey Juan said. Thys appeared on the main screen. He looked very different from before. His confident smile was gone. His eyes were wide with fear and confusion. War Commander, Deho said calmly. I believe you wanted to talk to me about surrender. What are you? Thys demanded. What kind of ship is that? This is a human warship, Deho said. And I am Captain Deho of the United Earth Space Force. You made a mistake today, Thys. You thought you were hunting helpless prey, but you walked into a trap. Impossible, Thys said. Humans are weak. Your technology is primitive. We have conquered dozens of your colonies. Deho smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. Yes, you have. And every time you attacked us, we learned something new. Every ship you captured gave us information about your technology. Every battle taught us how you fight. While you were celebrating your victories, we were studying and preparing. You're lying, Thys said, but his voice was shaking. Am I? Deho asked. Take a look around you, Thys. One of your ships is already destroyed. The rest of your fleet can't even damage our shields. You came here expecting to capture an easy prize. Instead, you found something that can destroy you all. Thys looked at the tactical displays on his bridge. The human ship was just sitting there, not even moving. But somehow it felt more dangerous than anything he had ever faced. What do you want? Thys asked. I want you to understand something. Very important, Deho said. The age of Vorthon dominance is over. Humanity is no longer your victim. We are your superior, and this is just the beginning. Deho made a gesture to Haywan, and the communication channel closed. Now, Deho said to his crew, let's show them what happens when you threaten human colonies. Deho stood before the main view screen, looking out at the wreckage of the Vorthon fleet. Pieces of destroyed ships drifted slowly through space like metal snowflakes. 2 ships remained. Thys's damaged command vessel and 1 escort ship that had surrendered. Hey Juan, Deho said. Open a channel to War Commander Thys. I want to talk to him before we send our message to his homeworld. Channel open, Captain, Hey Juan said. But I'm only getting weak signals from their ship. Their communication system is badly damaged. After a few moments, Thys appeared on the screen. His bridge was dark and filled with smoke. Sparks flew from broken control panels. The proud Vorthon commander now looked beaten and afraid. You, Thys said when he saw Deho. His voice was weak and full of hate. What kind of monster are you? I'm just a human, Thys, Deho said calmly. Nothing more, nothing less. The question is, what kind of lesson are you going to learn from this? Thys tried to stand up, but his ship lurched and he fell back into his damaged command chair. This changes nothing. The Vorthon Empire has thousands of ships. We will send a real fleet to destroy you, will you? Deho asked. Let me ask you something, Thys. Before today, how many human ships had you captured? Dozens, Thys said with pride, even in defeat. Weak cargo vessels and small passenger ships. All of them surrendered without a fight. And what did you learn from those ships? Deho asked. Thys looked confused. What do you mean? I mean, what did you discover about human technology? About our weapons, about our defenses? Deho waited for an answer, but Thys remained silent. Nothing, right? Because those were real cargo ships and passenger vessels. They had no military secrets to reveal. So, Thys said. So you made a mistake, Deho said. You assumed that all human ships were the same. You thought we were all weak and helpless. But while you were busy attacking defenseless merchants, we were preparing for this moment. Boram was listening to this conversation while monitoring her tactical systems. Captain, she said quietly, the escort ship that surrendered is requesting permission to leave. They say they want to take survivors from the destroyed ships back to Vorthon space. Tell them they can go, Deho said. But first, I want them to take a message with them. Deho turned back to Tess on the screen. Here's what you need to understand, War Commander. This ship, the Retribution, is not unique. We have built others like it, and we're building more every day. You're lying, Tess said. But his voice lacked conviction. Am I? Deho asked. Think about it logically. Do you really believe that humans would create just one ship like this? Do you think we would send our only advanced warship out alone, with no backup? Theis's eyes widened as he realized what Deho was suggesting. That's right, Deho continued. There are more ships like this one, hidden among our cargo fleets, disguised as harmless merchants, waiting for Vorthon ships to attack them. Kyung-ho spoke up from his engineering station. Captain, I'm receiving a coded transmission from Earth Command. Should I put it through? Not yet, Deho said. First, let's finish our conversation with the War Commander. Deho walked closer to the view screen. Theis, I'm going to offer you the same choice you gave me an hour ago. Surrender or die. The difference is I'm going to be more honest about your options. What do you mean? Theis asked. I mean that if you surrender, you and your crew will be taken prisoner. You'll be treated according to the laws of war. You'll be fed and given medical care. Eventually, you might even be exchanged for human prisoners. Theis looked around his damaged bridge. Several of his crew members were injured. His ship was barely holding together. And if I refuse to surrender? Theis asked. Then I'll destroy your ship. Deho said simply. It will be quick and clean. You won't suffer. Those are my only choices? Theis asked. Those are your only choices, Deho confirmed. But before you decide, let me show you something. Deho nodded to Hae-won. Play the recording. The main screen changed to show a view of the battle that had just ended. But this was not the view from the Retribution. This was recorded from multiple angles, showing the complete destruction of the Vorthon fleet. The images were clear and detailed, showing every moment of the fight. This recording will be broadcast to every inhabited system in the galaxy, Deho said. Everyone will see what happened here today. They'll see how easily human technology defeated Vorthon warships. They'll see that the empire that has terrorized so many worlds can be beaten. Theis watched the recording with growing horror. You can't do this. It will destroy our reputation. Other species will rebel against us. That's the idea, Deho said. For too long, the Vorthon Empire has used fear to control others. Today, that fear ends. What do you want from me? Theis asked. I want you to make a choice, Deho said. But first, let me tell you what will happen after today. This recording will reach the Vorthon homeworld in 3 days. Your government will see it. They'll realize that their invincible fleet was destroyed by a single human ship. Deho paused to let this sink in. Then they'll have to decide what to do next. They can send more fleets to attack human space, knowing that we have ships like this waiting for them, or they can choose to negotiate for peace. The Vorthon Empire does not negotiate with inferior species, Theis said automatically. Then the Vorthon Empire will be destroyed, Deho said matter-of-factly. Not by a massive invasion fleet, but by ships like this one. Ships that look harmless until it's too late. We'll hunt your fleets the same way you hunted our merchants. This was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. If I surrender, what happens to me personally? You'll be taken to a human prison facility, Deho said. You'll be questioned about Vorthon military capabilities. If you cooperate, you'll be treated well. If you don't, Deho shrugged. Well, that's your choice. And if the Empire agrees to negotiate? Theis asked. Then you might be part of a prisoner exchange, Deho said. You might go home eventually. Theis looked around his bridge again. His ship was dying around him. Half his crew was dead or wounded. His mighty fleet was gone. I surrender, he said quietly. Good choice, Deho said. Prepare your ship for boarding. Human Marines will come aboard to secure your vessel and tend to your wounded. The communication channel closed. Deho turned to his crew. Boram, prepare a boarding party. Medical personnel and security only. I want Theiss and his crew treated properly. Yes, Captain, Boram said. HFY, now you can take that message from Earth Command. Incoming transmission from Admiral Park, HFY said. She's requesting a full report on our mission status. Admiral. Park appeared on the screen. She was an older woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Captain Deho, we detected weapon signatures consistent with a major space battle. What's your status? Mission successful, Admiral, Deho said. We've eliminated a 12-ship Vorthan fleet and captured their commander. No damage to the Retribution. Admiral Park smiled. Excellent work, Captain. Was the new technology effective? Very effective, Deho said. The adaptive shields worked perfectly. The phase shift drive performed better than expected. And the graviton disruptor, well, it certainly made an impression. Good, Admiral Park said. We have 3 more ships like yours nearing completion. Based on your success today, we're accelerating the program. Admiral, Deho said, I'd like to recommend that we send copies of our battle recording to every major government in the galaxy. Let them see what human technology can do. Already planned, Captain, Admiral Park said. The recording will be broadcast within 6 hours. By tomorrow, every spacefaring species will know that humanity is no longer easy prey. What are our new orders? Deho asked. Intelligence reports suggest there's another Vorthan fleet operating near the Centauri colonies, Admiral Park said. We want you to pay them a visit. Understood, Deho said. The Retribution will be ready to depart in 4 hours. Excellent. Admiral Park out. The communication ended. Deho looked around at his crew. Boram was coordinating the boarding of Theiss's ship. Kyung-ho was running diagnostics on all systems, preparing for their next mission. HFY was preparing the broadcast that would reach every corner of known space. Captain, Boram said, the boarding party reports that War Commander Theiss is cooperating fully. They've secured his ship and are treating the wounded Vorthans. Good, Deho said. What about the escort ship that surrendered? They've collected survivors from the destroyed ships and are preparing to leave for Vorthan space, Boram said. They're carrying our message to their government. Deho nodded. And what message is that? That the age of Vorthan dominance is over, Boram said, repeating the words Deho had spoken earlier. That humanity will no longer tolerate attacks on our colonies, and that any Vorthan fleet that threatens human space will face the same fate as this one. Perfect, Deho said. He walked over to the main view screen and looked out at the stars. 6 months ago, the Vorthans thought they were the strongest force in this part of the galaxy. They thought they could attack anyone they wanted without consequences. And now? Boram asked. Now they know better, Deho said. And soon every other aggressive species will know better too. HFY looked up from her station. Captain, the broadcast is ready. The battle that followed was unlike anything the Vorthans had ever experienced. They had expected to fight a desperate cargo ship crew with maybe a few hidden weapons. Instead, they found themselves facing something that fought like it was from a completely different era of warfare. All ships spread out, Theiss ordered his remaining 11 vessels. Don't let them target us all at once. But the Retribution didn't fight like a normal ship. Instead of staying in one place and trading fire with the enemy, it began to move. In ways that seemed impossible. Captain, Boram said, watching her tactical display in amazement. They're trying to surround us. Let them try, Deho said calmly. Kyung-ho, activate the phase shift drive. Phase shift drive online, Kyung-ho reported. Ready for spatial displacement. What's a phase shift drive? Boram asked. Watch and learn, Deho said. Execute. Phase shift. Take us behind their formation. The Retribution suddenly flickered like a mirage in the desert. For a moment, it seemed to exist in 2 places at once. Then it vanished completely from where it had been and reappeared 3,000 kilometers away, directly behind the Vorthan fleet. On Theiss's command ship, alarms were screaming. Where did they go? Krex shouted. Behind us. The sensor officer yelled, They're behind us. But before the Vorthans could react, the Retribution was moving again. This time it didn't phase shift. Instead, it accelerated to incredible speed, moving faster than the Vorthan ships could track. "Boram," Deho said. "Target the ship on the far left of their formation. Quantum torpedoes." "Quantum torpedoes locked and ready," Boram said. "Fire." 2 blue-white projectiles shot out from the Retribution. They moved so fast that the Vorthan ship didn't even have time to raise its shields. The torpedoes hit the alien vessel and seemed to make it collapse in on itself for a moment. Then it exploded with a force that lit up the surrounding space. 2 ships down, Boram reported. 10 remaining. The Vorthans were trying to turn their ships to face this new threat, but the Retribution was already moving again. It used its phase shift drive to appear on the other side of the formation. "This is impossible," Theiss screamed. "Nothing can move that fast. Nothing can teleport like that." His science officer was frantically working at his controls. "War Commander, I'm analyzing their movement pattern. They're not actually teleporting. They're shifting into a parallel dimension for a few seconds, then shifting back into normal space at a different location." "How is that possible?" Theiss demanded. "I don't know," the science officer admitted. "The energy requirements alone should be enormous, and the technology to control such a process, we have nothing like it." Meanwhile, the Retribution continued its deadly dance around the Vorthan fleet. It would appear in one location, destroy a ship, then vanish and reappear somewhere else before the aliens could respond. "Target the heavy cruiser on the right," Deho ordered. "Plasma cannons full power." "Target locked," Boram said. She was getting used to the advanced weapon systems now. Firing. The plasma beam struck the Vorthan heavy cruiser and tore it in half. The 2 pieces of the ship spun away in different directions before exploding. 3 down, Boram reported. 9 remaining. Haywan was monitoring the enemy communications. "Captain, they're starting to break formation. Some of the ship captains are arguing with War Commander Theiss. They want to retreat." "Are any of them actually running?" Deho asked. 2 ships are trying to," Haywan said. "But Theiss is ordering them to return to the fight." Deho thought about this for a moment. "Boram, target one of the ships that's trying to run. I want to send a message to the others." "Which message is that, Captain?" Boram asked. "That there's no escape," Deho said. Boram locked onto a Vorthan destroyer that was accelerating away from the battle. "Target locked. What weapon should I use?" "Something impressive," Deho said. "Use the new experimental cannon, the one Kyung-ho has been wanting to test." Kyung-ho's eyes lit up. "The graviton disruptor? Are you sure, Captain? We've never fired it at a real target before. Today seems like a good day to try new things," Deho said. "Fire when ready." A strange dark beam shot out from the Retribution. It didn't look like any normal weapon. The beam seemed to bend light around itself as it traveled through space. When it hit the fleeing Vorthan ship, something incredible happened. The ship didn't just explode. It imploded. The graviton disruptor created a tiny artificial black hole that lasted for only a few seconds. But in those seconds, it pulled the entire enemy vessel into itself, crushing it down to nothing. When the effect ended, there was nothing left but empty space where the ship had been. "Dear gods," whispered one of the Vorthan ship captains over the radio. "They made it disappear completely." 4 down, Boram said quietly. 8 remaining. On Theiss's command ship, panic was starting to take hold. "War Commander," said his tactical officer, "we have to retreat. This is not a battle we can win. That ship has technology we've never seen before. Weapons we don't understand. We're being slaughtered." Theiss looked at his tactical display. 4 of his ships were gone. The remaining 8 were scattered and confused. The human ship continued to move around them like a deadly ghost, striking without warning. "No," Theiss said firmly. "We are the Vorthan Empire. We do not run from inferior species. All ships, focus fire on the human vessel. Hit it with everything at once." "But War Commander," the tactical officer protested, "their shields are too strong. Our weapons can't." "Do it," Theiss roared. The 8 remaining Vorthan ships turned toward the Retribution and fired every weapon they had. The space around the human ship filled with energy beams, missiles, and plasma bolts. It was enough firepower to destroy a space station. But When the attack ended, the retribution was still there, completely undamaged. Shields at 98%, Kyung-ho reported. Their weapons are actually getting less effective as time goes on. How is that possible? Boram asked. The adaptive shields, Kyung-ho explained. Every time they shoot at us, the shields learn more about their weapons. Now our defenses are specifically tuned to stop Vorthon energy signatures. They could fire at us all day and not even scratch the paint. Daeho nodded. It's time to end this. Boram, I want you to target all remaining ships simultaneously. Boram looked at her weapons display. Captain, I don't think we can hit 8 targets at once. Yes, we can, Daeho said. HFY, activate the tactical AI. Give it full control of our weapon systems. Activating Wisdom Tactical AI, HFY said. AI is online and requesting permission to engage multiple targets. Permission granted, Daeho said. Suddenly, every weapon on the Retribution came alive at once. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and experimental beam weapons all fired simultaneously. But they didn't all fire at the same targets. Instead, the AI coordinated a complex attack pattern that struck all 8 remaining Vorthon ships at exactly the same moment. The results were devastating. In the space of 3 seconds, 6 Vorthon warships were completely destroyed. The remaining 2 were badly damaged and drifting helplessly in space. 10 down, Boram whispered. 2 remaining. One of the damaged ships was This's command vessel. The other was a smaller escort ship. Captain, HFY said, I'm getting a transmission from the escort ship. They're trying to surrender. And Thais? Daeho asked. No signal from the command ship, HFY said. But their engines are dead and their weapons are offline. They're not going anywhere. Daeho looked at the 2 crippled alien vessels floating in space. A few minutes ago, they had been part of a powerful fleet that thought it could easily defeat one human cargo ship. Now they were helpless and broken. Accept the surrender of the escort ship, Daeho said, but keep weapons locked on them in case they try anything stupid. Yes, Captain, Boram said. Daeho walked over to the main view screen and looked out at the debris field that had once been 10 Vorthon warships. This had been a complete victory, but it was also a message. A message that would soon reach every corner of the galaxy. HFY, Daeho said. Prepare a special transmission. I want to send a message to the Vorthon homeworld, and make sure every ship in this sector can hear it too. What kind of message, Captain? HFY asked. Daeho smiled. The kind that will make them think twice before they attack another human colony.